Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Upkick MMA, episode number 183. I am Brendan. UFC Fight Night, Grasso versus Araujo. UFC, I think it's UFC Vegas 62. We're going to go over the prelims here. If you're looking for the main card, the main event, that's in the last video. This one's going to cover Martinez versus Brandon Davis, Jacob Malkoun versus Nick Maximov, Joanderson, Brito, Lucas Alexander, and the other fights on the prelims. Real quick, before we get started, if you're new to the channel, you like MMA, you like podcasts about MMA, breaking down fights, I do all that stuff here. Appreciate it if you subscribe so you know when the next video is coming out. It does a lot for me, and I appreciate it. Thank you all very much. All right, let's get going. Martinez versus Brandon Davis. Fun fight. Very fun fight, actually. Did I have a controversial take on this one? No, I don't remember. No, I don't have a controversial take. Well, sorry. Okay, anyway, let's get going. So Martinez ends up getting the decision victory here, 29-28 on split decision, sorry. He gets a split decision from Mike Bell and Tony Weeks. Camijo saw it the other way. So, first round, both guys landed heavy leg kicks. Davis landing a right hand a few times. Davis got the better strikes in that first round, I felt. It was a good back and forth. I didn't have it as a blowout. Here's the thing. The significance, the numbers that they were putting up on the screen did not match what I thought. To put this in perspective, so both guys only landed significant strikes. There was no meaningless strikes thrown, or not meaningless, but there was no feel out strikes. There's no soft punches really. But I felt like Davis landed the better ones. And yes, he got outstruck 31-24, but I felt like he did more damage. I felt like he landed the harder shots. I mean, I felt like he won that first round. That's how I had it. Okay? Maybe I'm on my gourd, but that could be. Anyway, and again, I said I wanted to look at the striking numbers again because I thought I missed something, but I didn't. He was 7 strikes ahead, which that's enough to win you a round if all strikes are equal. But I felt like Davis landed the better ones, and the way they were talking like Davis wasn't getting going, wasn't doing what he needed to do. Second round here, Martinez ends up outstriking him again, but Davis, and this is the one that everybody was saying that Davis had a better round, and he was doing pretty well. It's kind of funny. They were talking to each other while landing big kicks. They're both landing kicks back and forth and talking to each other the whole time. Mana ended up landing a spinning back fist that dropped Davis at the end of the round and almost got the finish. So here's the thing. They were talking about the second round being the one that's back and forth, or that was really close, and that maybe Martinez didn't win that one. I didn't see that. I had that one clearly for Martinez, right? The striking numbers were already kind of close. Davis had a good round. I felt like he had a similar round to the first round, to be honest. And then in this round, Martinez finishes strong and got us, he put him down. I don't know how you give that second round to Davis. Third round here, Davis with the pressure, landing really well. Martinez actually went for a takedown 2 minutes in, nothing doing, didn't get anything. Davis had Mana's nose bleeding. Davis is tired now, but got a takedown anyway. Mana just holding on to Davis. Not a ton of damage, but that's enough to get the round. So 23-19 in favor of Davis in this last round. Clearly his round. I had it 29-28 in favor of Davis. Not because of the that second round. The second round is the one I had. The second round is the one that was very definitive for me. The third round was very definitive for me. It's the first round was the close one. That was a close one for me because nobody got dropped. Nothing was that significant. Here, all right, let's look at the score. I want to break down the scorecards. I'm sorry I didn't bring them up. If you guys already watched the main card coverage, I did not break them down. I didn't go over the scorecards on there. But here, this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Look at this. There you go, Camijo. Getting it done. Everybody talking about how the second round was close. You're out of your fucking mind. I don't know what the commentary was looking at. They're out of their fucking gourd. Same with the first round. First round was close. I gave it to Davis because I felt like he did more damage. So did Camijo. Aha. And the second and last round were the definitive ones. It's the first round that was close, not the second one, guys. Not the second one. See, I'm not fucking crazy. But if you're looking for a specific fight, I got the timestamps down below. If you're looking for a breakdown of a specific one, I mean, I thought it was a close fight. I had it in favor of Davis, but if you gave it to Martinez, that first one was close. I'd have to watch it again and really dial it in. But like I said before, if you're criticizing me because I went one way or the other, to put this in perspective, I try to score it while I'm watching it. Okay? I score it while I'm watching it to get the same experience that the judges had. Because this whole hindsight thing where people say, well, like, I went back and watched it and he landed this strike, that's great. And you can go back in hindsight and really break it down, judging on power, seeing every single strike. You can do all those things. And there's nothing wrong with that exercise, but it's not what the judges get to do. The judges have to turn in their score at the end of every single round. So you should do that too, or put yourself in that mind space when you're going after someone who scores it differently than you. You have to understand, provide an argument, present your argument, but you can't include in your argument that, oh, I've watched it 10 times, therefore this. That can help you as far as like how it might have actually gone, right? And that's okay. But like I said, if you're going to make the argument, it has to be on first, it should be on first viewing, and then you have to have the understanding that your first viewing and the judge's first viewing are going to be different because you're seeing it from all different angles. They're only seeing it from one. And on top of that, you have the benefit of the striking numbers. They don't. They don't get to see that stuff. In fact, that's probably why, because the striking numbers were so bad, that's probably why the commentary team was like, oh, wow, yeah, Mono won this round super easy. The first round was close. I don't think it was. I don't think it's controversial. I think that's a good win for him. But I had Davis. Nick Maximov taking on Jacob Malkoun. Interesting fight. So Nick was jabbing well and landed a hook that actually dropped Malkoun in the first round. But the pressure from Malkoun just kind of broke him a little bit. Nonstop shots adding up, and Nick looked like he was hurt at the end of that first round, but not from anything specific that Malkoun did. But Maximov turned out to... Malkoun ends up getting the decision win here, 30-27. Something's wrong with Maximov's right knee. He couldn't push off on it anymore. He was clearly in pain. They iced it after every round. It just was not operating correct, and it let him... The next two rounds are pretty much the same, right? Malkoun goes for a single leg, lifts the left leg up, so now that right leg, the back leg of Nick Maximov, which is the one that's compromised, is the one he's balancing on, and he couldn't put pressure on it, couldn't balance, and Malkoun just dumped him over and over again. Total takedown. He got 9 total takedowns, and most of them were through that same series. A couple takeaways from this. Obviously, good job by Malkoun getting the win done, doing what he needed to do. I'm not complaining. And then Nick Maximov for staying in there and toughing it out and stuff. Couple takeaways from this. The fact that Malkoun is moving forward, landed as many shots as he did, because they were basically uncontested. Yes, Maximov was still throwing heat once in a while, but he could easily move in for a takedown and then land some stuff on the ground. I understand that Maximov's good off his back and he was defending really well. That's fine. The fact that Malkoun couldn't put a series of strikes together to get the finish here or do something to attack Maximov in a way that he could compromise him more and get the finish doesn't speak well to his experience, unless he was slow playing it, but in the post-fight interview, that's not what he said. The last round, I was like, I was kind of a little upset. I wasn't upset. I was just kind of bored. I was like, it was kind of a shit fight watching a guy with one leg fight for essentially 13 minutes. Like he fought for 13 minutes with one leg, and the other guy couldn't get ground. The other guy got ground control and not able to get a finish the whole time. In this last round, only 19 significant strikes were landed. Most of the fight was on the ground in this last round, 3 minutes and 45 seconds for Malkoun on top. So Malkoun's good. He's got a good gas tank. He's got a decent chin. His striking looked better. And then when asked why he didn't attack the leg, he said he's not good at kicks. And also Maximov was throwing hard and he didn't want to get caught by one of those. So he played, my takeaway, again, he played it safe. Did what he had to do to get the win. I'm not like he had to have known that his leg was messed up based on the way that he was wincing every time he would do something and the way he was moving. I'm not mad at Malkoun. It just doesn't tell me that he's like like his fighting style works against a lot of people and it's going to continue to work, but it doesn't necessarily make for exciting fights, nor does it make him a finisher when he has the other guy severely compromised, whether through his actions or otherwise. Good win for him though. You know, Malkoun's legit. He is. The guy does not. Here, let's look at who he's beat so far. He's got a loss to Brendan Allen and Phil Hawes, two really good fighters, but most of his fights are decisions. And he's really good, man. He's making improvements, and I think with his skill set of just being a really heavy grappler, he's a very strong guy in the clinch. His cardio's insane. I feel like he can take that pretty far in this division. So I am looking forward to see how he advances and makes some corrections based off of this performance. And hell, you know, one day we could be talking about him fighting in the top 5. All right, Joanderson Brito taking on Lucas Alexander, getting the win here. Really quick fight. I think this was Lucas Alexander's first UFC fight. Yep, it was. He stepped in on short notice. Brito was pressing forward really early, throwing for the fences, got a slam takedown, got a second slam takedown, got the back and got the rear naked choke, all within a matter of what? How long did this fight last? 2 minutes and 2 seconds. That's a lot of things that happened. Like, he just ran across the octagon and just worked for the finish immediately. Not much to say except, you know, he won a fight he was supposed to, and he looked good doing it. All right. All right, let's talk about a not strange fight, just not the most exciting. Sam Hughes versus Piera Rodriguez. Rodriguez getting the unanimous decision here. Oh, Adelaide Bird was on this card. Oh, good for her. She still got a job somehow. Piera was staying on the outside on the back foot and avoiding most of the shots. Looks like Piera got hurt or something after she got a takedown. She was kind of running away on the feet. Most of her movement was backwards. A very close round in the first round. Piera didn't really do anything with the takedown that she did get. Damage looked about even, and if you go for octagon control, I went for Hughes. So 29-19 or 21-19 in favor of Hughes as far as strikes go. I had her up on the damage anyway, so she had the control, the octagon control, like that. Like Piera did get the takedown, but Sam Hughes got up immediately, and Rodriguez did nothing with it. So yeah, that counts as a takedown, but it doesn't count for anything else. And I know that Dominic Cruz really loves takedowns and he weighs them heavily, but that's not how we score things. That's just not how it works. Second round here was a better round for Piera, getting control in the clinch and multiple takedowns. No damage on the ground, but Piera got a pretty one-sided round in my opinion. She did more on the feet. I had it 19-19. Look at the total striking numbers here: 34-17 in favor of Rodriguez. Clearly her round. Last round here. Sam was relentless with pressure and defending all the takedown attempts down the stretch. Striking looked really close with Piera running away again. I don't know about this last round. It looked like the bigger shots might have landed from Piera, but nobody landed anything that big. I leaned towards Piera. Okay? So striking numbers, 30-31. That's so freaking close. I could understand giving that fight to Hughes. I saw it for Piera, so I agree, but just barely. Just barely. Let's see how they scored it here and why they scored it the way they did. Okay, here. So Adelaide Bird saw the first round for Hughes, and nobody else did. Saw D'Amato gave the last round to Hughes, which I could see. But that first round, Mike Bell gave Hughes the last round, but didn't give her the first round. Weird. That's a weird one, guys. I don't disagree with the decision. Just weird. Holy moly. Woof. Cleaning out my buddy's crawl space really got my sinuses messed up. Seems to be a common occurrence on this on this channel. It's me with a runny nose. It's really annoying. Oh, crap. No, I did that one. Okay, good. I thought I skipped the fight. Oops. All right, here we go. Sorry about that. Sometimes I'll take notes and then somehow they get switched around in the note-taking app that I use, and the fights will be out of order. This was not the case, but sometimes that does happen. All right, let's go. Tatsuro Taira versus CJ Vergara. All right, so Taira is really good. Taira ends up getting the second round finish with the rear naked choke. Oh, no, he got the armbar. He's going for rear naked chokes. CJ took the center. Taira stayed on the outside, keeping his distance. Tatsuro got the back body lock and got it to the ground, taking his time, staying on top. He got the back, the body lock, and then ended up taking him down. He didn't do the body triangle to the second round. Taira got another takedown. He's got such heavy pressure. CJ reverses and goes right for an arm triangle. That was a great reversal from him to end the round. But that first round was, in my opinion, all Tatsuro. The only moment is when CJ had that arm triangle for a little bit at the very end of the round, but it wasn't close enough, and it wasn't for long enough. And the amount of time that he spent on his back, basically getting dominated for most of that round, 3 minutes and 30 seconds of it. 13-8 was the striking numbers, but that's not really the tale that really needs to be talked about. It was really just a grappling event. Tatsuro took that first round for me, and then the second round, Taira landed some nasty leg kicks, but CJ had his moments on the feet. Then, striking numbers 11-9. CJ was actually doing decent on the feet, but then Taira got the takedown right to the back with the body triangle. Taira switched to an armbar after attempting rear naked chokes and got the finish. This kid is really good. I think he's 22 years old. This is his second fight in the UFC, second win in the UFC. Really good. It's hard. I didn't see too many holes. Yes, there was that one moment where he was in a bad position at the end of the first round, but I think it's hard to tell because you'll do things at the end of a round that you won't do in the middle of a round or throughout the course of a fight because you might be going for not a Hail Mary per se, but you'll do things you might do things that are more risky, right? A great example is TJ Dillashaw versus, oh my goodness. The hell's his name? Son of a biscuit. Anyway, at the end of the first round in their championship fight, he got caught because he was going aggressive and he wasn't being as defensively minded, right? Cody Garbrandt. I'm an idiot. I said him in the last video, and I don't know why I couldn't draw his name. So Cody Garbrandt caught Dillashaw coming in at the very end of the first round, but that's because Dillashaw opened up and got really aggressive, doing things he wouldn't do normally and didn't do throughout the rest of the two fights that they had because he knows it's short time. So if he does get caught, he doesn't have to survive for much longer. So he got aggressive, got caught, and that'll happen. So in this fight, you want to talk about how Tatsuro at the end of that first round maybe got a little loose with his position, maybe who was trying to be a little bit more aggressive at the end of that first round, gets reversed, and then that arm triangle, which, CJ immediately locked up the arm triangle, so he reversed with that submission attempt. That's how he did it. It was incredible. So there's a little bit of, obviously, CJ hitting that position and hitting the reversal and going for the submission is all skill on his end. But Tatsuro might have had a lapse. It could have been a lapse of judgment, a lapse of aggression, too much aggression. Could have been a lot of things, and it was right at the end of the round. So we really get to see how he reacts during the course of a fight when he's in a bad submission attempt or a bad position. So, like I said, I don't want to read too much into him being in a submission attempt because he was so dominant everywhere else. And I also don't want to be the other way and say like, oh, this kid's the next thing. He's going to be the greatest. This guy's going to be a champion. I don't want to say any of that either because, again, he did get caught in that. It's hard to make a read, right? If he just went in there and dominated the entire time, all we could say is, oh, well, he beat this guy. And, CJ's good, but he's not, one of the top UFC fighters, but he's good. So it's a good win for him. In this case, he can come out with like, oh, maybe on the ground, he's a little loosey-goosey when he's on the bottom. That's about it. Maybe he needs some work. That's all. Okay, first fight on the card. This ended in spectacular fashion. Mike Jackson getting knocked the fuck out by Pete Rodriguez. And I mean that. He got knocked the fuck out. Rodriguez was hitting hard leg kicks early. Rodriguez landed a nasty right hook to the body. Jackson lost balance there and went down. Dude, Pete just came out so freaking hard, and he just was swinging. So you could tell, he just wanted the fight to end, and he was going for it, man. Jackson seemed content to try and wait out the damage, and as I was writing that, he got caught by a huge knee, and he was out cold against the cage. Just one of those bad where his legs collapsed underneath him, and he was kind of like wedged against the cage. As much as I love MMA, there's nothing wrong with it. Before I say what I'm about to say, there's nothing wrong about that series. I have no problems watching MMA. I love all the aspects of the sport. For this kind of thing, when this happens, when Sugar Rashad got knocked out by Lyoto Machida and his body collapsed against the cage, seeing somebody get knocked out like that, it's not my favorite. It's not like, oh, I love that. I love seeing the guy knocked out. No, I don't. I like the sport. I like fights. When people get knocked out, I cheer. Like when people fight back, I love all this stuff. I love everything about it. I don't love someone getting knocked unconscious like that. I'm okay with it. I'm not against it. I like it a lot better than when someone's arm breaks. But again, this is part of the sport. It's part of it. It's going to happen. You're trying to damage your opponent. That's the entire sport. You're trying to make their body, mind or body, quit before yours does. That's what you're doing. Whether that means you break them physically, you break their cardio, you break their arm, their leg, their foot, you you knock them out, like knock them unconscious, you put them in so much pain that they have to quit. Anything. You strangle them, whatever. You're trying to hurt your opponent. That's the whole object of MMA. They call it the hurting game. So I'm not against it. I'm not against it at all. It just, when I see that now, I'm not, like, I'll have that reaction that a lot of people are like, oh, like, I'll do that. But I'm not the one who's like, yeah, that's fucking awesome. I love seeing guys get brain damage. I love seeing guys fall on their legs like that and possibly ruin their fucking knees. I love it. No, that's not me. Oh, well, more blood. I want more blood. No, that's not me. Love the game, love the sport, love all this stuff. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. But you will not see me doing that kind of thing. Unless it's okay, there is a side of me where I am a little, if I'm a huge fan of the guy doing it, I'll be really excited. And if the guy who's getting punished is a piece of shit and I really don't like him, I'm not going to talk shit, but I'll be like, yeah, good. He deserves it. That kind of thing. Which I think is a pretty human thing. I don't think I'm out of line saying that one. All right, that is it for UFC Vegas 62, Grasso versus Araujo. If you're looking for the main card, if you watch all the way through this, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel, because if you watch this, a prelim video, a breakdown all the way to the end here, you're going to like all the other breakdowns that I do. 2 or 3 videos every single week. I appreciate you coming. The last video is the main card and the main event, so if you're looking for that, go over there. Hope everybody has an amazing week. I hope that you guys enjoyed the fights, and you're looking forward to next weekend when we have a big UFC event. Finally, some title fights. All right. Have a great week. Love y'all.